bam 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 bam. Monday the 13th of July 2026. I'm another year older. Yes, I've had a birthday, and now it's a bit loud today, isn't it? Yeah, I'm a bit older, a little bit wiser. Looking forward to sharing some ideas with you today. Should we get started? Of course. Should we do it? Yes!
It's the start of the week. Grab your coffee cups. It's Magic Monday Live.
Welcome to people on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. That's those ones just here. And it is lovely to be here. It's bonkersly warm, isn't it? Of course it is. Everybody's complaining about the heat, but we're not complaining about the football. I did say I wouldn't mention it until we got to the final, but we are very, very close. And today I wanted to talk about responsibility. So I love when I'm coaching somebody and we do a session, sometimes it takes a whole hour to do it, about what is and what isn't the coachee's responsibility. And one of the definitions that I like to give, and I think this might have come from Stephen Covey originally, is that responsibility is your ability to respond. Can you do something about this? And if so, what do you do, or what does one do? So if we think about it, it's about your ability to respond. That means it's not about blame. It's not about guilt. It's not about fault, about who was wrong. It's just your ability to respond. And I think when you do that, it starts this process of you changing the way that you think about stuff. So some things it is your responsibility for. So let's have a little think about what that might be. So as an individual, type of stuff that we would take responsibility for. When we drive, we're on the road with other people, you've got to take responsibility for that. You've got to slow down in certain areas. Health and safety at work. When they say health and safety is everyone's responsibility, I mean, yes, to a point. Of course, you have certain people who have got more responsibility than others, but if something doesn't look right, you've got to shout about it, you've got to point it out. That's actually another one, isn't it? On the train now, they say that, what is it? See it, say it, sort it. It's your responsibility. If something doesn't look right, let us know. What else is there? If you're a manager, somebody in your team is struggling, it doesn't mean you've got to fix it, but recognizing that is definitely your responsibility. Checking in with somebody, making sure that they're okay, doing what you say you're going to do, that's definitely your responsibility. So pretty much in all those cases, and many, many others, you have the ability to respond. But sometimes you don't have the ability to respond, so therefore it's not your responsibility. So I heard a family a little while ago. It was quite disturbing actually. What happened was the parents were having an argument about how much money it cost to have this 5-year-old, because they're always wanting stuff. They always want things. They always want this. They always want that. It costs an absolute fortune. It's a 5-year-old. And I could see them projecting, well, one of them in particular, projecting onto the 5-year-old the fact that it was costing a lot of money. It's not a 5-year-old's responsibility. You're not responsible for somebody else's emotions. You might be responsible for how you help to deal with it, but you are not responsible for their emotions. Please don't get caught up in that one. If a toxic culture exists at work, it isn't your responsibility to fix that, especially if it's coming from the top. Just think about that one again. Sometimes people have toxic cultures at work. They're created from the top, but people sometimes feel it's their responsibility to do something about it. You don't always have to take responsibility. You're not responsible for somebody else's decisions, especially in other adults. So sometimes we get hooked on this idea that we have to be responsible for what other people decide. No, we don't. You're not responsible for the weather. I've got all these written down here. Just because you care about something, it doesn't mean it's your job to carry it. You don't have to be responsible for everything. So here's the important bit. Here's the essence of what I'm talking about today. Many of us carry responsibilities that don't belong to us. We worry about things that we can't control, and we ignore the conversations that we probably do need to have. And we complain about situations where we could actually make a difference. So we've just gone through the whole gambit there, haven't we? The whole A to Z of responsibility. We carry responsibilities that we don't need to, but we complain about situations where we could take some responsibility. On there. So I've got some questions to ask yourself for this week. And I quite like the idea of having a question to start the week. Where do you have the ability to respond but haven't yet? And what responsibility are you carrying that isn't really yours? So that's 2 questions, I know. So I had a question, 2 questions. So what responsibility am I carrying that isn't really yours? Am I carrying that isn't really mine, I should say? Let's do that bit again, as I might end up clipping this. What responsibility are you carrying that isn't yours? And where do you have the ability to respond, but you haven't yet? Put one burden down, pick one responsibility up. That's the challenge for this week. Should we see who's here? Let's have a little look. Well, of course, Matthew Bird. Hello, Michael and everyone. Tuning in from the land of smiles. I was talking about you last week, Matthew. I was talking about somebody about a book idea, and I said, "Have you?" They've already written the book. They're about to go to and they describe it, print it. And I said, "Have you got someone who's going to help you to get typeset and published ready?" They hadn't thought about it. I recommended you. I hope that they've been in touch. If not, I will give them a poke. We've got all sorts of people here on Instagram, which is always lovely. Julie, Jojo, Jin, the Moxie Diva. Oh, the Remoxie Thermo Mix Diva. Right, that is the Remoxie Diva is how I read that. I think it should be Thermo Mix Diva. All right, Linda's here, Kieran's here, SJ Warniner. I think in my head that said Warrior. SJ Warrior. It's SJ Warriner is here. And I think that's it in terms of little shout outs for people. Thank you very much for tuning in. Short one this week. I've got a lot to do, and I will see you next week for Magic Monday, but it probably won't be live. I think I may be travelling at that point, so the chances are I might be doing a pre-record for you. See you soon. Bye. Oh, music out. Bye.